What's going on, gamers? I am Merkaba18. We are back once again with a new deck that I am going to be talking about as it relates to a card that is not yet out, but will be out in the near future as a result of the season Days of Future Past in Marvel Snap. So that card is Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Now, that is quite a mouthful, and it's quite an interesting card. One of the cards that I think is going to be one of the best ever added to this game. So I wanted to go ahead and build something that I think will be really good with Negasonic. And so what we're going to do is, this is what it would currently, like the base of that deck. And I'm going to replace it with two things if and when I unlock them. Negasonic is obviously not currently out. So if I unlocked Negasonic, I would plug that character in here. I would also plug in Null, probably somewhere around here, like for Professor X or maybe even Leech. The reason being, I will explain in just a minute, but Negasonic Teenage Warhead is going to essentially, when played on a zone, if a card of your opponent's is played on that zone, it will destroy that card and the card that you have in your hand, or that card, Negasonic. So it's essentially a way of, one, controlling a zone and making sure that nobody plays any strong cards there. And then two, it's a way of sort of bombarding high-level cards at the end if you know where they're going to play their card. I can also see maybe Kang being really useful, Kang the Conqueror being useful in this deck, because you can see where your opponent has played their card, rewind, and then put Negasonic down, destroy their biggest and baddest card, and then Bob's your uncle. So this entire deck is really centered around control. It's not really a high-powered deck. There's like Iron Man, and to a lesser degree, like Juggernaut, and those kinds of things are more like centered around controlling and preventing your opponent from playing the best possible cards that they can. Obviously, Null would be a great choice here, because if Negasonic destroys their very best card, or if Negasonic destroys a number of cards, then it would give you that power at the end back. So I think this could be a really strong deck, and I'm going to be tweaking with it and working on it as the card comes out, and we'll see how it actually plays out. Let's go ahead and jump into some gameplay so that I can show you what this one looks like in real time. As we are loading up here, and I make sure everybody's subscribed to this channel, please make sure to hit that sub button. It is absolutely free, easiest way to support my channel. All right, no play on turn one. We're going to go ahead and go a Black Widow, stop that person from drawing any cards next round. And we get a retreat instantly. Interesting. So that one really isn't a great example, but maybe he didn't like the zones. Maybe he didn't like getting Black Widow, but let's jump right back in. I also want to let you guys and girls and everyone in between know that I play this game over on Twitch full time at Merkaba18. Make sure to come check it out. All right. The thing with Elektra here, the reason Elektra's here is obviously to destroy a one-cost card. Since none are really going to be played here, we're not going to play anything yet. We want to make sure we get a one-cost card out there before we destroy it. Otherwise, it's useless. The other option here that I could really see being useful would be like Yondu, potentially. The only difference being that they played the card versus the one that's in their deck. And of course, we end up with an immediate retreat, and then somebody that decided that they don't know what to do on turn one, even though there's really no decision to be made. All right, turn two. We're going to go ahead and put down Black Widow here. And if he plays a one-cost card like Sunspot, we'll destroy it next turn with Elektra. We're also going to put Cosmo down on one of the two lanes as a way to sort of control and lock that zone down. All right, since we've seen that he's kind of playing a little bit here, most of his strongest cards are probably going to be played there. So we're going to go ahead and go Cosmo there. Prevent any on-reveal from happening. That's especially useful when you're facing off against Wong decks and a lot of the stronger decks in the meta at the moment. Like Shuri or Red Skull, those kinds of decks. Next turn, we're probably going to go Daredevil and Elektra. Unfortunately, I think Elektra does need a little bit of a buff. The one cost, one energy is not super useful or effective. I can foresee her being useful, but I do think she needs a little bit of a buff. Maybe 1 cost, 2 power or something. So in this circumstance, he's going to play Widow's Bite. Oh, okay. Titania. You don't see that very often. Okay, so we're going to go... That doesn't cost anything. So we're going to go Daredevil here to match his at the Mojo World. We're holding on to Elektra in case he plays Sunspot, which is possible. Next, we're going to play Leech, which will remove all of the abilities from the cards in his hand. And he seems to be holding a lot of his cards. Leech is currently one of the strongest cards in the game. I do think he's... the developers have mentioned that they are going to be nerfing him in the near future. I would imagine you'll see something like it affects 1 or 2 cards or doesn't affect the entire thing. But as it stands right now, this is one of the strongest counters to almost every deck in the game. Interesting that he'd play Hood here in the place that he can't destroy them. All right, so we do get to see what he plays here. Which means I would imagine we're going to see Viper probably at some point. We got Magic. Okay, so what we're going to do is go Leech. He's probably holding on to some of his strongest hands, and this will stop the usefulness on all of them. So we're in good shape in all 3 of the zones here. We've pretty much established control on all of them. We're going to go ahead and go Professor X here as a way to lock this zone down. We're already up by 6 here. This would put us up by 9, assuming he doesn't play anything there. And keep in mind, all of his cards that he was holding don't have any abilities. They're just power and energy now. I would imagine in the near... I'm actually going to go ahead and snap. I would imagine in the near future, this person's going to snap or retreat. And unfortunately, we do have somebody that is taking their time. Okay. Green Goblin play is cheeky. I like it. But that also means this card's not super strong. All right, good. So that means we win this zone. Left is ours. Now we just got to focus on... So unfortunately, if we play... He's going to probably play a card here and give him 3 power there. So we got to play probably Iron Man here and then Elektra. If he plays a card here... Actually, we're only going to play 1. Let's play 2 just in case he does play 2 here. If he plays 1, we win. If not, we'll see. Because Titania will flip a couple times here, potentially. It is interesting. He must have drawn Green Goblin after I leeched him, which is unfortunate for us. But this deck, honestly, this deck makes absolutely no sense to me.
I am Iron Man.
Okay. So thankfully for us, I think we drew Titania because he played 2 cards there, and we won on the left and the right. So even without Warhead in our hand, that was an easy win for us. I'm not going to play another one just because that one lasted so long, and you get the gist of it there. So make sure to check out Negasonic when they are released later on in the season. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time.